now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You are listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. It's your boy, Gerald Grant. You know me as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well with everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everybody doing great today. It is Monday. We are back on the grind. Back on the grind after a weekend. A wonderful weekend. Weather this weekend, oh my God. If you're living in the Panhandle, the northwest part of Florida, the weather was beautiful. The evenings were clear weather. Got down in the mid to high 60s at night, but it was still beautiful weather. During the day, it was close to like 80 degrees in the daytime and 60, 65, 68 degrees at night. It was a beautiful weekend. I hope you got outside and did something on the outdoors. Got some vitamin D. But I want to thank you once again for tuning in right on The Truth with G. We're here every Monday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on WPMM Internet Radio. And you know, right here at the WPMM Internet Radio, we play more music. We play the best R&B, jazz, old school, neo soul, independent hip hop music. You can go to WPMMradio.com, download the app, and you can listen from WPMMradio.com as well. You can also go to YouTube. You can go to tune in and listen to the show as well. You can tell Alexa to play WPMM Radio, and she will oblige as well. So make sure you get locked in one way or the other. If you have someone that's not tech savvy, just text them WPMMradio.com in the text message. Just put WPMMradio.com, send that in the text message, and then all they have to do is click on it, hit play, and they can listen and enjoy the show as well. So, also, the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts are their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Now that we have taken care of the particulars, once again, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Go ahead and share if you're on Facebook. We're going to talk about 2 or 3 topics today. We're going to try to get them all in. Hopefully we get them all in. And just want to kind of pick your brains today to see where you're at and see and kind of give you some information on what's going on as well. It's been a little while. I've been missing you guys. I hadn't been on in a little bit. Matter of fact, I had to take last week off because I had some prior commitments I had to satisfy on last week. It's not that I wish I was on vacation, but I wasn't. But I had some obligations that I had to take care of. I do a little bit more than just sit and talk on the radio. But yeah, last week went well. We had shout out to Picard and Leroy Williams and the gang, the cast of Fentanyl Ain't Got Nothing on the Word of God, that will put that production on again at Olive Baptist Church. Shout out to Olive Baptist Church for being such graceful host in that situation. I tell you, we took the play out there to Olive Baptist and we put it on for them, and they opened the doors to us. They invited us to come, for one. They invited Mr. Williams and Picard to come out there, and I tell you, the staff there was wonderful with us. They did everything that they could to accommodate us. Anything that we needed, they took care of it. So shouts out to the crew and the pastor out there at Olive Baptist for having us out there. You know, in this day and time, we need to mix and mingle, and it's not too often, especially in today's climate, which we're going to talk about the race relations here in a moment. Especially in today's climate, there's not a whole lot of things where black people and white people are coming together for a good cause. With everything that's going on right now, anytime you hear about black and white, you know, you hear about race, there's always is always on the negative side, and unfortunately, conversation tonight might take us there as well. But it's something that need to be talked about, need to be told. But once again, shout out to Olive Baptist Church for welcoming Pakara and the production of Fentanyl Ain't Got Nothing on the Word of God. It was a great production. If you missed it, I'm not sure if Mr. Leroy reach out to me, and I'll let you guys know if it will be available on DVD. But the play itself, it focused on fentanyl. The fentanyl is what was in the play itself. It focused on fentanyl. Very educational, very entertaining play as well. Has some scenes in there to make you think. Has some scenes in there to make you kind of hold your breath. Has some scenes in there to make you laugh. It was a combination of pretty much everything going on in that production. And I shouts out to the cast and crew of that production. I don't have. I'm not even going to try to sit here and say all the names that were in there, but you know who you are. So shout out to you for doing a great job. The whole cast was wonderful. Everybody's part came across authentic and great, and it just couldn't have got any better than that. And again, the facility that we was in, the Olive Baptist Church, rolled out the red carpets for us, and they really, really impressed me. I was, if you're wondering what I did in the play, I was actually doing the music for the play, and myself and Mr. Andre Morel, we provided the music. He on keyboard, myself on drums. We provided the music for the production, and I think we did a wonderful job on that as well. So, but I'll keep you guys posted on the DVD if the DVD comes out, or I shouldn't say DVD anymore. I don't think it's DVD. I don't think things come out on DVD anymore, but if it comes out on any type of streaming or anywhere it's available where you can download, I'll let you guys know. So, but on today's show, again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. And then, like I said, I know I hadn't been on in a little bit, and I apologize for the absence, if you will. But again, previous obligations needed me elsewhere. But stay tuned. I got another big announcement coming up here in the next couple weeks or so. So stay tuned for that. I'm branching out, doing some more things, if you will. Trying to expand my portfolio. And I will be announcing what I got going on here in the next couple of weeks. Just once I get the confirmation from the powers that be, we're going to put it out there and let you know what I'm doing, where I'll be, and the whole nine. And hopefully you guys will come out and support. That's really the important thing. Hope you guys come out and support. But that announcement will be coming up. Once again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. If you're out there as well, hit me up with a thumbs up, wave your hand, or do something. Let me know you're out there. If you're listening on Facebook, we're also on WPMMradio.com. But today I want to talk about something that I posted about on the day that it happened, and it sparked some interesting responses, if you will, interesting comments. And it's another situation where, how can I say it? It sparked a whole nother race war, if you will. I'm gonna call it a race war, because it brought up the past, and it pertained to what is going on right now. And we're talking about the passing of O.J. Simpson. And if you don't know, O.J. Simpson passed away, I want to say one day last week. I forget what day it was. It was on, what day was it? About 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, that he passed away. 4 days ago, something like that. But anyway, and I put a post up. You guys know me. I'm going to I'm going to be real, regardless of the situation and regardless of what people think or say or do. You guys know I'm gonna be real about a situation. And I put a post up about OJ the day that OJ passed away. And I posted and I said I'm gonna read the post, so I'll be word for word on the post. I'm not paraphrasing what I put up there. I said OJ was a great NFL player, but he was also a killer. And then I put too soon with a question mark. In other words, I'm asking, is it too soon for me to bring that up? And then I said, oh well, I said it. It is what it is. And that sparked some debates. It sparked some comments, and I decided on that day, I was like, okay, this is my next show coming up. We're going to talk about the race relations and how the OJ trial and the death of OJ caused a great divide in race relations. And yeah, if you go back 20 some odd years ago, what have you, when the OJ case was all over the news, and the Bronco chase and the trial, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit, and the whole nine. The trial was televised all over the world, and millions of people watched and was glued to the TV during the trial. And everybody was waiting on the verdict. Once the prosecution put on their case, it was Marsha Clark and Chris Darden were the two prosecutors that tried the case. I think there was a couple other ones on the prosecution, but those are the two that were mostly being seen, Marsha Clark and Chris Darden. And then you had what they call the dream team on the other side with O.J. Simpson, with the Kardashian dude. You had Johnny Cochran, and you had, I forgot the other guy's name, but he had like 4 lawyers over on his side. And 4 or 5 lawyers. Yeah, they call it the dream team. See, when you got money like that, you can get 3 or 4 lawyers. If you're like me, if I go down, I got to rely on that public defender, because I don't have money like that to pay all them high-priced lawyers to get me out. So I'm gonna have to rely on public defender. But that case, it caused such a rift or a divide in race relations. And I posted and I said what I said. I don't take it back. I will never take it back, because I said it. And I meant it when I said it. A lot of times, 99.8% of the times when I say something, I mean it. And there's no reason to take it back. I may apologize for, how it made you feel, but I'm not going to apologize for saying it, because if I said it, I meant to say it. So, but anyway, it sparked a whole bunch of comments, and just to kind of go through a couple of comments. One person said, not guilty and now gone to heaven. He was referring to OJ. Somebody else said, nope, you ain't gonna do OJ. You ain't gonna do OJ, period. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Somebody wrote that. And then somebody kind of piggybacked on that and said, I agree. Somebody else said, he said, Haley, he did what a lot of white people have done for years, got off for killing us. He killed 2 of them, I guess. LOL, I don't condone it, but I understand. He said, let me shut up. And then, let's see. Somebody else said, he said, well, we don't know if he was a killer or not. We are too easy to condemn our own. They said not guilty. Michael Brown was killed, and they said not guilty. No one calls that officer a killer. I call that officer a killer. And I'm explaining to you why I call that officer a killer, even though they was acquitted. I'm explaining to you why I call OJ a killer, and he was acquitted. As soon as I read these other comments. Someone said we have our own opinions 99% of the time. If a black man has evidence against him, he's convicted. So I hear them talking about evidence. They bought a glove. I don't even believe they had DNA evidence. So there was no DNA evidence, not guilty, but it's only my opinion. They said the cop shot Michael Brown was not guilty. They said he was afraid of the kid coming towards him. They never told you that the officer had shot him was a 6'10", 250 pound, but they never put that part in. Someone else said, so since OJ is gone, you post this about him and direct people to your show later. That was Mr. Edward Hayes. And the reason why, Mr. Hayes, I'm trying to figure out how to take this comment. But let me read it again, and then I'm gonna address it directly. It says, so since OJ gone, you post this about him and direct people to your show later. I'm on twice a week, sometime once a week, just depending on my Thursday schedule. I may not be on the air Thursday, but when I talk about it, I'm talking about it on the show because that's when I have my audience attention. So I'm not sure how to take that particular comment, but I want to explain something to you. I put out information that people want to know. I say things that people want to say, but they can't say because they're scared. They're either job scared or they're scared what the people in their community might say about them, or whatever the case may be. Whatever the reason is, they think what I say, but they will never say what I say. Once again, I would never say something that I need to take back. But once again, I may apologize for how it made you feel. And not the apology not apologizing for saying it, but apologize that it made you feel a certain way. But for me to put that post out there and then direct you to the show, it's because that's when I have my audience with me. I do a radio show. So with doing a radio show, I talk about things that are going on in our community, in our state, in our federal government, across the world, even with the wars on Ukraine and Israel and all this stuff. We talk about all that. So yes, anything that I want to talk about, I'm going to direct it to the next show, because that's when my audience, that's when my platform is live, and that's when I'm supposed to talk about these things. Keep in mind, I do not gain 1 penny for doing what I do. So it's not about if I get a big story or whatever the case may be, I get more money out of the situation. No, it's not. It's nothing. I'm just giving the information. I'm just giving the facts. Just explaining what's going on in our community. So, Mr. Hayes, I appreciate the comment, and I would never tell you not to comment, because comments spark conversation. So just like your comment sparked a conversation in this show, the next comment may spark a conversation in the next show, and then so on and so forth. So that's why I directed people to the show, because I wanted to talk about it on the air, which I'm on 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. I appreciate your comment. Someone else said, somebody said not according to court documents. Someone else said, judgment is mine, says the Lord, I shall repay. It's our job to forgive and let God judge. We are guilty of something. How many people have we killed with our own tongue in our actions? One person said, I can't see how anyone can brutally kill 2 people and transport only drops of blood, so they say, from the scene. Socks should have been soaked. Better yet, leave no DNA. I mean, every other time someone stabs someone, they incidentally cut themselves. Hence the gloves. But anyway, I like I said, I got a lot of comments on this particular topic, and now I want to address all those comments, and I want to address why I said what I said. Now, with the race relations, I understand, and I seen it when it was happening 20 plus years ago, when it took place, when Nicole and the other gentleman was killed there at the residence of Nicole Brown Simpson. I'm one of those realists, and I understand our court system. And let me just explain something about the court system before I talk about the race relations. Anytime that you are in a criminal trial, a prosecution has to give enough evidence, and it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Those words are very, very important in the criminal process. The way the instructions are given to a jury, the jury has to follow laws. The jury has to follow instructions. When you go up against, and I've served on a jury. I've been on a jury, and I actually found the jury I served on, we found a guy that we found him not guilty because there was a reasonable doubt. And just in case if you wonder what kind of case it was a drunk driving case. It was a DUI case. I sat on that jury. Was that guy drunk? Hell yeah, he was drunk. He was definitely drunk. How do I know he was drunk? Because when he left, he had left the club. He had been at the club. He had been drinking at the club. He left the club, and he was pulled over, and he was stopped, and he was arrested for DUI. Now, I know for a fact this man was drunk. Nobody can convince me he was not drunk. But we found him not guilty. And we found him not guilty because of the instructions that were given by our justice system, the instructions that were given by that judge. And with that, again, in a criminal trial, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. If there's anything within that trial that casts doubt on the guilt of that defendant, you cannot find that person guilty of the crime, even if you believe that person did the crime. Per the instructions given by our justice system and the laws of this land, you cannot find that person guilty if there is a reasonable doubt cast in that trial when the prosecution present their evidence. Now, again, that guy was drunk. He had been drinking, but the police officers who arrested him gave some false statements. His defense lawyer cast doubt on the breathalyzer, which I learned a lot about these breathalyzers in this trial, because he broke this breathalyzer down to where you can't believe what the breathalyzer tells you. And he broke it down with facts. He broke it down with actual studies and facts and whatnot on this breathalyzer and the ratio as far as margin of error. He broke it down. And once he broke that breathalyzer down, and that breathalyzer was in the margin of error, based on the facts, based on studies and whatnot, based on the equipment itself, We could not rely on the breathalyzer to prove that this man had been drinking. So that was thrown out in our deliberations. We could not, because he had cast reasonable doubt on that breathalyzer. He also had cast doubt on the officers in the location that they claimed that they seen this man driving, which they said that he was on the street that was closed for construction. And then they said that he was doing certain things during the field sobriety test, and the field sobriety test was on video, and the things that they say he was doing was not present on the video. So therefore, even though we know he had been drinking, he had just left the club, we could not find that man guilty of DUI because the defense had cast that reasonable doubt. And it had to be beyond a reasonable doubt to convict this man of this crime. This is the same situation that happened in the OJ trial. All the defense had to do was get one juror. I think there was 12 that sat on that case. There were 12 jurors to sit on that case. All he had to do was get one juror to say, I can't say that he killed Nicole and Ron Goldman because this right here makes me doubt it. This piece of evidence right here gives me doubt. Not saying he didn't kill him, but this piece of evidence right here gives me doubt. That's how OJ got off. I said it then, and I said it again now. OJ killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. No doubt in my mind. I know I'm giving you opinion based on the facts. This case had more DNA evidence and more PCR tests and more, this case had a little bit of every element in it. And because you had people on the case like Ron Furman, who was a detective, one of the detectives that worked this case. Instead of was Furman a racist? Yeah, he was. But the defense was smart enough to go back and dig up Furman's history and find a videotape or recording somewhere where this man, this white man, I'm gonna say older white man, and he probably, I'm guessing he was probably in his 40s at the time, the detective. They went and dug up and found where this white man said the N-word. A recording where he said the N-word. So instead of them saying OJ didn't, focusing on the fact that OJ didn't do it, they focus on detectives like Furman, where they said that he was a racist. Therefore, he was a racist. Therefore, he conspired to produce evidence against O.J. Simpson. They looked at the crime scene. They looked at crime scene, the news coverage or whatever. They looked at the crime scene and they seen where a officer or a detective or a EMS worker or someone on the scene may have stepped somewhere without putting the little white booties on their shoes. And they didn't argue that OJ didn't do it. They argued, look at this. You see this person stepped right here. And they didn't have booties on. Therefore, the blood is contaminated now because this person stepped right there. Not because OJ didn't kill him, because the blood was contaminated. So what they wanted us, what the defense wanted us to believe, is that the whole police department, the whole entire police department, the whole detective squad, everybody that participated in the investigation of that crime They wanted us to believe that everyone conspired to convict OJ. Everyone fabricated stories and told lies and planted evidence to get OJ convicted. I know our police departments there's a lot of corrupt people in our police departments and our sheriff's departments, this, that, and other. But I got common sense enough to believe that a whole police department, a whole detective agency, a whole lab, if you will, that process blood evidence. I got good enough sense to know that you can't get that many damn people to conspire against one individual. This is just not possible. That's not reasonable. But all they had to do is cast a reasonable doubt on this situation. And apparently they were able to do that because OJ was acquitted. And we all know OJ killed people. Be real with yourself. You know OJ killed them people. And my bad, I miss Miss Saber. Miss Saber, good to see you on here tonight. Thank you so very much for tuning in. However, back at that point in time, this was 20 plus years ago. Back at that time, black people were fed up. Black people were fed up with white police officers and white people killing black people and getting off on it. So OJ's case was a high-profile case in which black people it brought black people together in the efforts for this particular trial to weigh in on and have meaning on a black person who has been convicted to be acquitted. Because the status quo was, if you're black and you go before our justice system, that you're going to prison, or you're going to jail, you're going to be convicted. So OJ was the scapegoat. He was the trial that we used to as a litmus test to say this man should get off. There's reasonable doubt here. This man should get off. He should not be convicted of this crime. And when a verdict came in, I was watching when the verdict came in, and I seen the reaction of white people and I seen the reaction of black people. White people were mouths wide open, frozen still. They were in disbelief. They were in complete disbelief on the verdict when they found OJ not guilty. On the flip side, the black people, the reaction that they got, it was like somebody won the Super Bowl. It was like, like Muhammad Ali won a boxing match. So the Super Bowl was won. It was one of those type of reactions when OJ got off. And the white people looked at the evidence. The black people looked at the process. The black people looked at the struggles. The black people looked at the fact that black people don't normally get off on a trial. Normally black people have to go to a plea agreement and things of that nature, so that caused a racial divide between black people and white people. Caused a big divide. Back then it was a big rift. If you went to work, it was a debate on OJ guilty or not guilty. The black folks were saying, okay, OJ wasn't guilty. And truth be told, a lot of the black people that I interacted with back then, a lot of those people were saying, shit, he killed him, but he got off. He said it wasn't, and one of the most common things I was hearing, it wasn't right, but I understand. Mr. Pugh, what's going on? Mr. Pugh joined us on Facebook as well. He said around the same time or before Rodney King beating, even with the Rodney King beating, we saw, not to flip subject or anything, but we saw, everybody saw the beating of Rodney King. Everybody know that he got his ass whooped by those cops because it was right there on video. But with our justice system, all we need is one person to say there's reasonable doubt to think that these people are not guilty. So therefore, we're going to find them not guilty. Again, reasonable doubt in our justice system. And what people fail to remember in the OJ case, even though the black people were celebrating, the white people was pissed off. That wasn't the only trial of OJ Simpson in that case. That case went to a civil court. It was tried in civil court. The same evidence was produced in that case, in the same as far as the civil case that it was in the criminal case. And in the civil case, it's by a preponderance of the evidence. It was by a preponderance of the evidence. It wasn't by, a reasonable doubt. It was the preponderance of the evidence. And once they took out that reasonable doubt factor and focused on the evidence alone, OJ was found civilly liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. And that's what people tend to forget, that he did go to trial and he was found liable for killing two people. And he had to pay millions of dollars in a civil suit because he was found liable / guilty in a civil court of killing Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. So the race part of it, I understand. I'm not going to say I was right along with everybody else because I was and I wasn't. Was I surprised to see that a black man got off on such a case where the evidence was overwhelming? Yes, I was surprised. Very surprised. But did I ever think he was innocent? No, because I got common sense. I got common sense enough to look at the evidence, not based on my opinion. I got common sense to look at the same evidence that they produced. And at that point in time, I think I was working nights at that time or doing that trial or whatever the case may be. But I was able to watch. I probably watched 80% of that trial. And I can't remember where I was working at the moment, but I think I watched 80% of that trial. And with all the evidence that I seen, when I wasn't watching the actual trial, I was watching the coverage of it after the fact. And I seen that the evidence that was presented, and the direct and the redirect, the cross examination and the direct, I saw that the evidence said that OJ killed these people. OJ dug his own grave. And I'm going to say it like this. I'm not. When I found out OJ was dead, I was like Malcolm X. When Kennedy was killed, Malcolm X said it was chickens coming home to roost. That's the way I felt when OJ died, because I felt like OJ got away with killing two people out of rage and out of jealousy and out of whatnot. He got away, regardless of what the color was of these people or what the race and what religion they were, or where they come from, what their background was, or whatever case may be. Those two people should still be alive. Nobody should take someone else's life, period. And the evidence showed that OJ took that life, those two lives. So was I sympathetic when he passed away? No, I wasn't. Am I sympathetic to his family who had to suffer through that trial with him? Yes, I am, because OJ created that situation for his family. Am I sympathetic to his kids who had nothing to do with nothing, who had to endure a trial that was seen across the world a Bronco chase that was seen across the world, where they had to see their father in a position where he had been discovered to have committed these crimes, and now that you've been discovered, now you want to claim to kill yourself, and you put Los Angeles on lockdown because you wanted to basically bring attention to yourself. You can look at OJ's history in regards to the women, and even with Nicole Brown Simpson, he beat the hell out that woman. And I have any sympathy for woman beaters. Mr. Pugh said, and I can't say, he said, same blacks wanted payback. And that's true. Black people wanted payback for all the injustice that had been done in our justice system to black people. But I don't feel sympathy for his passing, even though I don't wish death upon anybody. But this man took 2 lives based on the evidence, not based on my opinions, based on the evidence, which the evidence came out in the civil trial. But it caused a great racial divide, and we're still dealing with a racial divide today. It caused a racial divide in the trial, and 20 some odd years later, it's causing a racial divide in his death. So here, as a country, we need to do what we need to do to level the playing field, to where nobody has an advantage over anything or anybody, and get everything leveled to where everything is equal across the board. And so when the game is played, everybody has a fair chance. No one has an advantage. It's like it won't be like a lopsided basketball game where one side has all 7-footers on their team and the other team has, midgets. And I know I'm not supposed to say midgets, but shit, they midgets. My analogy is my analogy. So just picture a bunch of 7-foot basketball players playing a bunch of midgets. That's how our justice system has been when it comes to race relations, if you will. And that's how our society is as well, because the people in the Caucasian world believe that they have an advantage over us, and they use their advantage with their money. They use their advantage with their politics. They use their advantage with their votes. They use their advantage in the justice system. They use their advantage in our penal system, which is our prison system. They use that advantage. And in that OJ trial, it for a moment, it made the playing field level. Did he kill him? Yeah, he did. But for that moment, it leveled the playing field when it comes to injustice for black people. But it only created a bigger racial divide amongst us. And it's doing the same thing in 2024 with that racial divide. So, but that is my opinion. That is my thoughts. Again, my opinion is based strictly in fact. Strictly in fact. So, it is what it is. Okay, if you just joining us, we've been talking about the race relations going on in our countries with the OJ trial. Let me jump real quick and let me talk about the there you go. Let's talk about the I'm sorry, I just saw something that kind of struck my attention there. The Orange Idiot is finally on trial. The Orange Idiot is finally on trial. He is on trial in the case of Stormy Daniels, where the hush money, where he paid Stormy Daniels 100 and some, I forget the exact amount, but he paid Stormy Daniels to be quiet about the affair that he had with her prior to the 2016 election. And he tried to hush it up, and then he lied about it and said, I don't know anything about it. And then He went from saying, I don't know anything about it, to saying, no, well, I did it, but it wasn't running wrong with doing it. Then he went from that to, it would no, we didn't get the money from here. And then the checks came out, and lie on top of lie on top of lie. But now he's at trial. And if you keeping up with the trials, this is the first trial out of 4 that he will be in on a criminal trial. First out of 4. Well, it's another civil trial in New York. But Trump is trying to blame anybody and everybody. He's blaming the judges. He's blaming the prosecutors. He's blaming anybody that he can come up with, anybody that he can blame. He is blaming everybody but himself. He is trying to delay these trials, thinking that he's going to get elected. And once he get elected, he's going to instruct the justice system to cancel any federal prosecutions. He can't do anything, or he can pardon himself. He can't do anything on the state crimes, if you will, but he can kind of cancel out all the federal investigations and trials. So he is desperately trying to delay. Even the trial started today, the jury selection started today, and even with the jury selection starting, he's still trying to delay the process. And he's trying to delay it until November 5th, I think, is the date. November 5th is the date of the election. And he's anticipating being reelected. And the sad part is there's a bunch of dumbass folks out there. Bunch of dumbasses out there that are going to vote for this fool. And yes, I called you a dumbass. If you're planning to vote for this fool, you're a dumbass. And I said to your face, I have no problem with that. And I think if you really look at it, you'll realize that you are a dumbass. You're an idiot. But he's trying to delay everything until the November, and when he's elected. So, he has until January 20th, which is the inauguration day, to try to delay things. Because January 20th is when the transfer of power is supposed to go over from one president to another, unless there's an incumbent. And if there's the incumbent that wins, then now on January 20th, that person is sworn in again for another term. But his goal is to delay and delay and delay. He's blaming everybody but himself on what has happened and what will be happening in regards to these trials. His defense is not that he did not do anything. His defense is the people that's prosecuting him are corrupt. The judges are corrupt. The judges' families is corrupt. The witnesses are corrupt. He's doing witness intimidation. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do in this particular trial, because he just yesterday, before the trial even started, he put out words and what statements or whatever that can be construed as witness intimidation, and that is a crime. And I'm waiting to see what this judge is going to do. I'm tired of these judges just overlooking this idiot's antics and not holding this idiot accountable. So I'm trying to wait and see what this judge going to do in this witness intimidation. What's going to be the consequences? And because he's been doing it since day one, ever since the first charges came out. He's been intimidating witnesses. He's been getting people to not say anything because of fear. Ask those 2 young ladies that out there in Georgia, who was the poll workers that had to leave their residence and had to hide out because of what he was saying about them, and his dumbass, racist ass supporters were giving these 2 black women death threats. They had to hide out. They had to leave their own home. They had to leave their jobs because of the threats and fear of bodily harm. And he's still doing it. And he has not been held accountable for any of it to this point. Has he got a couple of fines or whatever? Apparently he don't give a damn about a fine because he's still doing it. If I did it, I would be under the jail. I would be locked up so far up under the jail they would forget my name. But he's been doing it since all this started. But the trial has started. I'll be keeping you guys updated on the trial as we go along. Jury selection started today. There was 96 potential jurors, I think, in this case. Over 50 has been sent home, so there's 40-something jurors left. Most of them got out on purpose because all you had to do was go in there and say that I can't be unbiased in this thing. I'm going to be biased, and they dismissed all those people. So 50-something people don't went home. There's 40-something left. And the jury selection continues on tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have a jury seated here soon. The evidence is going to be put out there, and in the evidence in this case, they got the evidence, but it's a criminal case. Once again, it's a criminal case, just like in the OJ case, beyond a reasonable doubt. I think we're going to have some perpetrators, some infiltrators on this jury. I think the MAGA cult is deep enough to where out of that jury pool, there were people that are willing to take a chance on getting on that jury just so they can be that one person to hold out on a guilty verdict. I really believe that. It only takes one in a criminal trial to hold out, because you have to have a unanimous decision. And it only takes one to hold out to have a hung jury. And if you have a hung jury, that means that the prosecution has to debate and weigh out if they're going to prosecute the case again, or if they're going to just drop the charges and go about their business. But it only takes one. And the MAGA crowd is big enough to where that one person is probably going to end up sitting on that jury, probably lying their ass off about being unbiased, lying their ass off about being, saying that, oh, we don't know anything about this trial. We don't know anything about the situation. We don't know. And they do that to make sure they get on the jury. Just like the people that were sent home today. Those people probably can be potential jurors, but they did not want to sit there for months because this trial is going to drag out. They're anticipating this trial going until like June, July. So it's going to be a long trial. That means these people have to take off their jobs. And when they take off their jobs, they don't get paid much. I think in Florida, they pay you like $15 a day to sit on the jury, what have you. And these people probably can't afford, especially up there up north, you can't afford to be out of work that long and not be compensated for it. So we'll be keeping you updated on the trial as it goes, and hopefully it'll be some justice in this situation. I also wanted to talk about, let's see, Mr. Pugh put a comment up there as well. He said, judge is not going to do anything but say, don't do it again. Money is no problem. Yeah. I really need one of these judges to lock him up, because he violates every single order that the judge gives. He violates it with he'll violate any type of ruling that comes down from the bench. He has done it in every single case. For witness intimidation to get, violating gag orders and the whole nine, he has done it. Threatening judges and their families or whatnot, he has done it. And there's been no consequences other than a couple of dollars. So we're going to keep you up to date on that. Real quick, because we're running out of time. I wanted to talk about the church pastors. I had put on there, as far as and I might table this to Thursday because we're running out of time. I want to talk about churches. I want to talk about the church that you attend. the question I have, and I'm gonna put it in on my Facebook page. I'm gonna put a poll question out there, and I'm going to base my commentary on the responses that I get. And this is going to be on Thursday show. And if I don't get a Thursday show in, it'll be on Monday. But I'm going to put the question out there. Do you continue to attend a church if you know your pastor is foul? As you say the word foul, if I was on the street, I said, if you know your pastor's fucked up, do you continue to stay at that church and be under the leadership of a foul pastor? We're going to post that on Facebook. I'm going to put that on my Facebook page as a poll question, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear your comments. Put your comments in the comment section. If you put it on Facebook, obviously, your name will be attached. However, when I talk about it on Thursday, I won't attach the names, if you will. I'll read the comments, but I won't read the names with the comments. But that's the question we're going to pose, and we're going to table that to the next show. If your pastor is foul, should you or should you not continue to be a member of that church? Should you or should you not continue to show up in the pews every Sunday and on Bible study at Wednesday at that church where the pastor is foul? And I'm not talking about rumor foul. I'm not talking about, if there's a rumor floating around or whatever. I'm talking concrete evidence, because rumors will kill anybody's career and anybody. I'm talking about there's evidence that your pastor is foul. Do you continue to go to that church? We're going to put that question on our Facebook page. You'll probably see it pop up on tomorrow, and I want you guys to respond. No, you probably see it pop up tonight. And I'm going to keep posting it until Thursday. We'll talk about it on Thursday night. Once again, if I do not get a show in on Thursday, it will be on Monday. Again, it just depends on what I got going. My Thursday is kind of rough. I apologize. But we're going to anticipate. We're going to plan on being on Thursday. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's been an hour well spent. We're at the top of the hour now. It's time for me to get up out of here. And want you guys to continue to listen to WPMM. Listen to the radio station. Listen to the music on the radio. When you get in your car or if you're sitting at home or whatever, put on WPMM, because the music that comes out of WPMM is good music. You don't have to worry about hearing the same 10 songs in rotation. You're going to hear some new stuff. You're going to hear some old stuff. But it's going to be a mix of music that you can enjoy. And also the other shows on WPMM, just depending on your taste, check out the other shows as well on WPMM. I still need to get with Mr. Dawson and get a lineup so I can give you the times and the dates that everybody is on and who shows on what, because I don't have that with me right now. So I'll get that information and pass it on to you as well. But once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And like I say, I have the greatest audience in the world. Thank you so very much for being so very kind and patient with me. And I will see you guys on next Thursday, this coming Thursday. Until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I'm out of here.